막 온슈이나 다 도면 자주도 주주 온슈이나 다 유도 오면 온슈이나 다 제재되는 조사가 제재되는 조사 제매되는 조사 하나 라면 온슈이는 기름 저거는 어떻게 있었지 제재도 제재 지금 들어서 딱 말이죠 당하라면 온슈이나 하나라면 람도 좀 하셔
so if the lam if you are someone who have received Anuttara Yoga initiation or empowerment, then you also think of the levels of the path that you have to attain in that tantric tradition. And also you think of the importance of cultivating the completion stage that is taught in one of the tantric path. And also you think of the importance of cultivating the completion stage. And in Tantra they talk about completion stage or generation stage and completion stage they talk about. So in completion stage they talk about 5 different lamwai. In the completion stage Tantra they talk about 5 different levels of path. And through then by practicing, engaging or practicing into these different levels of tantric path, you finally attain the state known as Vajradhara. So so this is how you engage in. This is what he mean by practicing the shargam. Whenever you practice shargam, in other words, a glance in English, a glance meditation, on all important points of the learning, you review all important points of the learning teaching, in which you think of all the importance of cultivating all these mental states, and in short I can say the mental states are important practice that you have to engage in order to reach the ultimate, in order to attain the ultimate state of existence, ultimate goal, which is, you can say, state of enlightenment or the state of Vajradharahood. And then you have to think that through by engaging in such a long process and cultivating all these levels of the path, attaining or cultivating these levels of the path, and I can finally be a person who is free from all the faults and who is endowed with all the positive qualities. And you have to have clear understanding deep in your mind that in order for me to be able to attain the awakened state or enlightenment, I must be able to study all these levels of the path and attain or actualize these levels of the path. Then that's the only way that I can be enlightened. If each time you engage in the normal meditation, I should say, if you do shargam meditation, in which you reflect on all the important points of the Dhamma teaching, which like I said earlier, and then you will have a clear understanding deep in your mind that in order for me to be able to attain the state of enlightenment, I must study and understand all these the important aspects of the Dhamma teaching, and then that's the only way that by which I can attain the state of enlightenment or Otherwise, if you don't have very clear understanding about this most important practice that finally leads to the state of enlightenment, if you don't have this understanding, clear understanding, then when you happen to see someone talking about something, that can that is say, oh, if you should do this, you should do that, and then you can be enlightened like that, and then you can be deceived easily. You can mislead easily. In other words, you can mislead easily by people who exaggerate things and and says, no, you should do this. So if you do that, if you do this kind of reflection on these important points in your daily life, then it's very very helpful, and it can prove effective in transforming your mind. You have to know how to think of these important points of the Lamrim teaching in its own proper sequence. In its proper sequence, you have to think in such a manner. And I have to think of the effort, and then think of the impact, and this and that, like I said earlier. First I have to do this, and then next I have to do this, and then the next this one. For example, when you want to cook, the first thing you do is you turn on the stove, and then you put the pan on that, and you put the oil on that. And then you onion and tomato, and then there's some spicy, and then the vegetable, and a little bit of meat, and then you know how to mix them together, and how much time you do that. If you do it not in order, if you do cook not in order, and then you will mess up. This is so you have so you have kind of very clear understanding that what I have to do in order to reach the state of enlightenment. I have to do this, and then next this, and then next that, and that's and finally, by applying or practicing, studying and understanding and practicing all this path, attaining this path, I can reach the state of enlightenment. You have this clear understanding in your mind. Then the only thing is that you have to do it one after the next.
That's all.
Can you
Simple.
I think it's like you have the map. Now you have that correct map. It's like you have the
It's like a map.
You have the map. Now you have to, what do? You have to walk
Start on the journey.
Start the journey. That's the only thing. So when you have the very clear understanding with conviction that in order for me to be able to attain the study life, I must study and understand these levels of path, And then when someone comes up and when someone comes and say, oh, you don't need to practice bodhicitta, and then you would say, oh, no, I know what I have to do. You don't have to tell me this. Otherwise, if you don't have clear understanding, very solid, firm understanding of the importance of practicing this path, and then when someone comes and says, oh, you don't need to practice bodhicitta, you can do this and that, and you can be enlightened, and then you would be easily misled. So then they have a series of steps or stages of the path. And each stages have you can in order to understand the meaning of each step or each stage of the path. You can read a different kind of book that explains in detail the meaning of each stage of the path, and then so that you can have a complete understanding of every step that finally leads to the state of enlightenment.
된다. 로스네. 산지가 손도 고디 갸다세. 된주 고디 게스요. 대주 간 간다데 파. 람리그 subject 주는 딱 되는 주디.
Actually, Buddha's teaching is the teaching known as his own words, you know, ka. His own words. They have more than 100 volumes of his teaching, his own words. He has spoken by himself, from his own mouth, and also teaching known as they call treatise. Treatise. You know a treatise?
Yeah.
Those are treatises. This is not directly spoken by Buddha, but those are kind of more like commentaries, you know, that is done on the root text of the Buddha. So, you know, more than 200 volumes they have. So all these teachings can be summarized into these important points of the Dhamma teaching. These are all included or summarized into the Shargo meditation. This Shargo meditation can be, can be explained in detail, and it can kind of become all the 200 treatises or 100 volumes of Buddha's own words can be, expanded. Can be expanded. You summarize into the Shargo meditation on these points, and can be expanded in many scriptures, which is 200 treatises.
제가 간다 시아범기 도당 르버스도가 어디 기그래 오는 시스도가 기기 조라는 시스도가 기기 조라되는 파다도 충주모도가 그랬더니 지구는 본 나라야
all the important points of the Lamrim in Shargo meditation is like a rubber bag, you know. The rubber bag, you might see it's small. If you put things inside that, it get bigger. You can put so many things in the rubber bag.
Oh, yeah.
It can be expanded, you know. It can get bigger. You put more. So Shargo meditation, the important point that you see in Shargo meditation is like a rubber bag. You can put as much as you can. It's still, you know, seems very little, but it can be expanded. Right now you don't know the meditation part that is taught in the Shargo meditation. You haven't studied it
yet. Are the words of the Buddha called ka? Are the words of the Buddha called ka?
Give me a second. First he said the Lamrim meditation, the points, the important points in the Lamrim meditation of Shargum is considered a path, which is known as Tumo. It's like Tumo is something. It's practiced by practice in general. Tumo means common. It's very common practice. You know, I really talk about two types of teaching: common teaching and uncommon teaching. Common and it is shared by all the levels of the schools.
Okay, yeah.
Common teaching, but uncommon teaching is tantric teaching is considered uncommon teaching. It's not shared by all the schools. In other words, so tantric teaching that is taught in the Shargo is considered uncommon. I should say.
So Shargo is not shared.
Yeah.
What
What did you say?
Is ka? What's the words of the Buddha? Is it called ka?
Yeah, ka in Tibetan. Ka in Tibetan means the teaching that Buddha spoke from his own mouth.
Okay.
The teaching that is taught by himself, Buddha himself. The commentaries are known as treatises.
Yes.
And how are we?
Commentaries made by spoke by or written by Indian masters, such as they are known as treatises.
And how are we spelling?